Hello, I'm Armando, CTO of Solo, and we're first to offer TaaS, or Trucking as a Service. This is Jerry, my co-founder's father and driver of 40 years. There are 2 million drivers like Jerry who dream of becoming their own boss to finally work with direct customers like Uber Freight, Pepsi, and more. But before independently driving on public roads, drivers must meet all practical and legal driving requirements and start a trucking company costing $20,000 to $40,000 in 3 to 6 months. Most drivers don't have the time or money to meet requirements and start a company. So over 90% join traditional trucking companies who don't allow direct customer work and provide such a terrible service that they churn 98% of their drivers every year. But Jerry deserves better. So we built TaaS, the only option that allows him to practically and legally drive and work with direct customers in less than a week at no upfront costs. Jerry simply applies, completes onboarding, and TaaS sets up all his driving requirements based on his profile. This includes covering him under a federal trucking license, providing him RRP plates, insurances, state permits, trailers, fuel cards, truck hardware, and anything else he needs. Jerry will then install our truck hardware, giving us direct access to his truck data, including location, speed, and video. No one else gets this data, and it's critical to our future product development. TaaS fundamentally changes the core of trucking. It allows the 90% of drivers currently working for traditional trucking companies to finally become independent and work with direct customers. However, independent drivers can struggle to find work. So using proprietary sourcing, we built the industry's largest shipment marketplace, which can support over 100,000 drivers, which Jerry uses to book shipments from our customers, including Uber Freight, Pepsi, FedEx, and more. We did 3.3 million in revenue last year and grew 260% and are currently at a 5 million revenue run rate. Our revenue is simple. Drivers make $175,000 in shipment revenue and they pay us 25% on that. They also pay us an additional $62,000 a year for TaaS. Our unit economics are great, but we're most proud of how drivers say we're improving their lives. Like John, our first driver that joined 2 years ago and has made slightly under $500,000 in shipment revenue. And Michael, an ambitious driver who's done over $200,000 in slightly over half a year. Currently, we get about 40 applications per month and accept 2 to 3. However, after securing working capital, we plan to increase that to 10 to 15. Our 6-year goal is to add 10,000 drivers, generating $2 billion in revenue by targeting the 500,000 drivers out there who own a truck, work for a bad trucking company, and are churning every single year. Travis, my co-founder, was actually a truck driver himself for over 3 years, and he's been working in trucking for over a decade. Our team is building TaaS to improve the future of trucking. However, we're first providing this life-changing service to drivers. Thank you.
All right, well done, Armando. Okay, we'll take some questions from investors. And also, Presh, if you want to put any in there from the live stream, we'll try to get to those as well. So We'll start with you. Ben Narrison from NEA, do you have a question for Armando? And investors, If you don't have a question, that's fine. You could just say, I don't have a question, or a question's been asked. Go ahead.
So how do you handle the demand side? If the drivers are supply, and now you've gotten them on board and given them everything they need, how do you then access the inventory so that they can have the road work they want booked?
Okay, great. How about you, Charles Kim from Xtal Capital?
Hi, this is Charles. Yeah, my question is, given your initial foray with the driver, what are they least excited by, or what do they not like about the platform or the services that you're providing?
Thank you. Diane Anthony from Figure 8 Investments. Do you have a question for Armando?
Yes. With the increasing automation of the trucking industry, why is now the moment for Solo?
Great. Ethan Petrowski from Venrock. Do you have a question for Armando?
I do. What's the economic incentive for the shipper to move to your marketplace?
Okay, great. We have one from Murph on the syndicate. What is the terrible service that you speak of for drivers? And also, are they 1099 or W-2? Will you have the same issues as Uber? So how about we take those, Armando?
All right.
Ready?
Perfect.
2 minutes to answer all those questions. 3 to go.
Okay. Awesome. Ben, I'll start off with your question. So on obviously we have the supply side figured out, and frankly, we also have the demand side figured out. And again, this kind of goes back to how we decided to go about building our marketplace. So we built it in a very strategic way, and it allowed us to build the largest shipment marketplace we've ever seen in the industry. It can support up to 100,000 drivers. So for all intensive purposes, we're done with that side. And I can get to more details if we get off this call. Charles, in terms of cons to drivers, or what's their least favorite part, frankly, it's tough to find a lot of them. So this is kind of why drivers get into this space. They want to become independent. They want to have freedom to drive where they want to go, and they want to have the freedom to get back home whenever their kid's having a ball game. And so we're the first company to ever provide that to these drivers, a fast track to that. I guess maybe one stepping stone that these drivers do have to kind of go through is figuring out how to become independent from a work standpoint. So how to source work even through our marketplace, figure out what work is actually beneficial to them. And so that can be a little bit of a stepping stone, but we help them all through that process. Diana, you had asked about automation in trucking. Obviously, we know that one day, truck drivers won't necessarily really be a thing. That's way out in the future, we think. And frankly, what we're doing is we're automating all the back office stuff, right? So we're letting folks handle the automation of LiDAR and vehicles moving at 65 miles per hour. We'll let other folks deal with that. What we want to do is automate everything that happens in the back office of a trucking company, because at the end of the day, moving something from point A to point B in a truck, the total cost allocation to driving is about 25%. 45% goes to a trucking company. And so we want to make sure that we can automate that portion away. And I think we're running out of time, but I'd love to follow up on your guys' questions. Thank you so much.